Hi, this is Chris. Welcome to Early Access with Cohesive Friendship Unit. I am Chris, and I am here with Jeremy,
Yo, what up?
Jake,
Hey guys.
and Brian.
Well, what's going on?
Interesting. We are here to talk about some games. First, oh my god. I know it was coming. It was a trap. So what have you guys been, what have you been up to? What have you been enjoying?
Oh man, not
I
much.
mean, I can start.
You want
guess.
to,
Yeah.
you want to break that ice? Break it.
Yeah, sure. So I've been playing a little bit of Simutrans, the free and open source transportation simulator. It's exactly as nerdy as it sounds. If you like that kind of thing, definitely check it out because it's free. It is also on Steam. If you do want to check that out, I highly recommend the Britain DLC. However, 95% of the people listening to this will not want to play it at all. But
You appeal
kind of
to
branch
our
off of
niche
that.
audience,
I
Brian.
appeal to our niche markets, but
Yeah.
kind of branching off of that. There's a lot of really good stuff that you can get for absolutely no money. So if you're out there looking around, check out some of the open source stuff. I think I mentioned in the past there was a Civ 2 or Civ 3 clone that I was playing that was actually pretty decent. And this is just stuff that people do in their free time, just as like a side project. They're not getting paid for doing it, but they're doing all the work that a regular game dev would do. So, just think about supporting those people. I guess that was. What are you playing? Plus my thoughts.
So speaking of supporting devs with freeware and all that good stuff, should we talk about supporting you, Brian?
Supporting me.
Yeah, I understand that you've been trying to get your boys some Rocket League on,
Yeah, well, I mean,
and you created a GoFundMe, right?
I mean, I didn't create a GoFundMe. We're trying to open these crates. We're trying to get we're trying to get Steam rich off.
So
of it.
yeah, so our current plan right now is to play a shitload of PUBG and create our way up to free Rocket League. So we'll keep y'all posted on that.
You
I mean,
will create a GoFundMe and a Patreon page.
Yeah.
the huge thing with these new crates is
You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Do you, punk?
This is very true.
no, yeah, I opened one and I got something that was worth 50 cents. I think it was the biker crate. Is that the lesser of the two?
That's the lesser,
It's
yeah.
an expensive one, and that's what I got. But it was a gas mask, so I liked it and it was cool.
I got like a $20
You got-
thing.
Yeah, dude.
Hoping the price holds. All right, I've been playing Cuphead, and
Oh, no.
I took a little.
How's Cuphead been?
It's good. I took a little break from it, came back to it, and I was able to pick it up pretty easily, which surprised me. It's really good. I like it a lot more than I originally liked it. The music is awesome. It's fun. You should buy it. That's all I have to say about it. It's very
I
good.
am sold.
Yep, that's it. I keep asking myself because this and Hellblade are probably like the two big like indie boys that I played this year. I keep asking myself which one's better, and it's almost impossible to decide. So they're both good. Get them both. That's all I have to say.
So speaking of indies, or as some might say, AA games, I have a
Oh.
tangent question for you, my friend.
You been playing Hellblade, boy?
I haven't played Hellblade recently.
God, okay.
Not since the last time we talked. I've
Ask-
been thinking about it. But
Ask your tangent.
So do you think 2017 was the year of the AA games?
No, I don't at all. I'm sorry.
And how come?
Well, one, to my knowledge, an Earth Defense Force game did not launch, so automatically disqualifies it.
That's a fair point.
That's a very fair point. Two, I really think the only notable one, unless you can correct me, was Hellblade.
What about Plunkbat?
Hellblade,
Okay,
PlayerUnknown's.
I'll give it PlayerUnknown's.
Cuphead.
Okay,
Plunkbat is
okay.
definitely AA.
All right, let's all slow down. See, I think here's the issue. I think that the name AA is like this kind of like they made it out of thin air like those no well like so Cuphead's ish was that they got picked up by Microsoft. There have been other indies that have been picked up by Microsoft. Plunkbat. I'll give you Plunkbat and I'll give you Hellblade, but like this is not the first time this has happened. Let me put it this way: like the sniper games, like Sniper 3, that's also a AA game. It's like a $40 game. Those come out all the time. Like that's just, I think this was a year that there were particularly good ones that caught air, but like I don't know.
I think that was kind of Jake's question. Like, is this the year that they kind of like did AA's kind of, did we either like have impact or like did they? I don't think you can say they ran the game because that would probably be Zelda and the other games that we always talk about. But
right, so I'm gonna real quick go through the top sellers of 2017. And in the platinum category, we have PUBG, which is technically AA because it's not published by a major publisher. It's pseudo self-published with the polish of a kind of, in PUBG it's kind of stretching it, but the polish of a AAA game. You have Divinity Original Sin 2. You have Rocket League.
Rocket League didn't come out this year, kiddo.
Yeah, Rocket League came out a while ago.
But it was a top seller this year.
It was top seller though, so I'm just going through it quickly. Cuphead. Let's see what else.
See, like, but what, like, I guess, like, how are you classifying AA? Because like all of these could, like, Rocket League could just be an indie. Stardew Valley could just be an indie. Like, it was made by one guy. Like, what?
Because AAA is technically anything that's developed by a major publisher with a huge amount of money behind it. And AA games, I think, have come to mean games that look like AAA games but are not published by AAA developers.
Yeah. Well, then I'd say the only one that qualifies is Hellblade. Like, I don't know.
Cuphead also looks AAA though.
I don't see Cuphead got a lot of money from Microsoft, so I'm not exactly counting them.
To me,
it wasn't
AA
published by them though.
Correct, but the reason the game came out in the state that it came out in, it was scaled way back until Microsoft picked it up, and then they scaled way up.
Right.
I think AA means like it has more resources than like an indie. Like I wouldn't say that Stardew Valley is an indie game because it was just one, or I'm sorry, a AA game because it was just one guy. I think it means like a game that was developed by a significant team, but outside of
like what?
Major
but like I guess like
so definitely PlayerUnknown, definitely Hellblade, definitely Cuphead.
Definitely Hollow Knight as well.
See, but all the I don't know, because like all those teams are still really, really small.
Like definitely not The Binding of Isaac, you know what I mean? Definitely not.
Right. They're small,
Stardew
but
Valley.
the polish on the games is AAA level.
I mean, I
It's
think
kind of subjective though.
I think
It is.
to me
Which is
that's
the tough part because it's like
Yeah.
kind of mixing two different categories with the same like terminology.
see. I think back we would just call them polish indies. We'd just say,
Right.
look at this really like awesome indie.
But at the same time, like an indie is like, oh yeah, one guy made Stardew Valley. Oh yeah, a couple guys made Oxygen and Astroneer. And
Like is Soma a AA game?
Soma. I don't
Well,
actually know
hold
about
on.
Soma.
Outlast?
Outlast, I think you could say is a AA game.
All right.
Because it's not published by a major
Then yeah,
publisher.
I'll give you
It's
that.
Self-published.
More
It's a decent sized team.
more of them are coming out. I'll give you that. They're growing for sure. I'll give you that. But what have you been playing, Jake?
Besides PUBG, personally, not too much. 'Cause
You buy a house and you just
I moved this week, so I haven't done a lot. Besides, it's not a great week for me video wise, but house wise, it's been 10 out of 10. Thank you, sir.
proud of you, Jake. All right, Jay. What about you?
I did have a big week video game wise. I finished Fallout New Vegas, 100 hours in, all DLC done, 70% of achievements done,
Jesus.
3 or 4 months later. Was great. So done with Fallout New Vegas. In case you haven't played it yet, as it turns out, I would recommend it. It's a pretty good game.
Okay.
Be it a buggy one.
Remember when I was like, Fallout 3 is the best one, and then you proceeded to play them like everyone but 3?
Fallout 3 apparently has a significant stability issue with Windows 10. So I'm gonna like investigate that further before I go at it. The other thing is that I have to go back to Skyrim now because I have Oblivion. So I'm taking a little break from like a major endeavor, kind of doing a palate cleanser, and then when I'm ready, I'll go into Oblivion.
He's stuck, dude. You need to. You need to just stop playing Bethesda games. You need to like. I don't know. I'm worried about you, dude. We're losing him. We're losing him.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, right?
All right,
there.
keep going.
I fucking wrapped up Fallout New Vegas again. Terrific. I started Nier Automata.
Oh yeah.
About an hour and a half, hour 45 into that, and just today I started Devil May Cry 4 again, which I played way back when on the PS3, and it came in a Humble Bundle that I got. So that was just for shits and giggles as well. So about an hour in there. First impressions, Nier Automata, pretty cool. I was a little turned off when I started, and the very first thing was the top-down kind of Space Invaders thing. I was like, I don't need to play Space Invaders right now. I fucking played that before. But it became, that kind of genre switching became more interesting as I put just a little more time into the game. And I look forward to kind of seeing where that goes. The story, I'm skeptical about so far. It seems like, oh no, the little robots that are cute that are the quote-unquote enemy, I can't believe that it seems like they probably won't turn out to be malicious. But we'll see where it goes. I know that it's supposed to be good and I'll have a twist. What's up?
The first ending is definitely the weakest of the three. Like, the first story arc is probably the weakest.
I also know that it's like a completionist game. Like, there's the like hidden like fourth ending, and that's the kind of shit that obviously I get into.
There's 26 endings, I want to say.
Yeah.
You can trigger probably 4 right now.
I could see myself getting pretty invested in it, so that'll be cool. And then first impressions on Devil May Cry 4 again, kind of so-so, definitely hack and slash. I know that apparently the combat like is deep. That's not something I play Bethesda games. I'm not used to like combat being important. And the camera kind of blows, and it's a little cheese, but it's kind of fun. So we'll see if I stick with that or not. So that's my week.
I take Nier and DMC as having pretty. I mean, they're within the same realm for combat.
100%. At least when it comes to third person.
Yeah.
Hack and slash, both have deep combat systems. Both mix, gun play, I guess, or whatever, with fucking giant Japanese swords.
You liking Nier's better, or?
It's
pretty early.
I did like Nier's better. No, but I think so far I would say that I did like Nier's better. I remember that at least when I played it originally, DMC4 grew on me significantly. So I'm still way at the beginning of it. I'm also playing on a harder difficulty, which is like, I guess, whatever.
Alright.
Fun fact, the publishers of Hellblade also published DMC, the original.
The original?
Yes.
I thought that was. I thought it was basically like a spin-off project of fucking Resident Evil.
It kind of was. Yeah, it was like
published by Capcom, developed by Ninja Theory.
Yeah,
mixed up.
It was
the developers, not the publishers.
Yeah, Capcom. Wait, what did you say originally, Jake?
I said Ninja, but they actually developed it.
They developed what?
Devil May Cry.
I thought Platinum Games developed it. Or
Nope.
Platinum developed Nier Automata.
They did, and
Yeah.
they may have done the more recent ones. Ninja Theory only did the original Devil May Cry.
Yes. Cool. All right.
What have you been playing, Chris?
I said Cuphead, dude.
Anything else?
You had. What else have you been playing?
no.
Have
I'm
you done any
playing
Rocket League
Cuphead?
recently?
No, guys.
Well, Liga
Hold on.
Rocket.
No, I will say though. Okay. I am gonna be only playing PC for PUBG for a few weeks, but we'll get to that later as to why. I mean, you guys know. But all right, let's and then I'll be playing Rocket League and stuff. Let's cover the news. So, Jake, you are our CD Projekt Red player. You're like the only
Ambassador.
you're the only one who's played their game at all. So, take the lead, fam.
Really? None of you guys have played any of the Witcher games?
No, dude.
Nah.
No, that doesn't seem like my speed.
I played 3 Bethesda games for like 500 hours. That's
Okay, I keep telling myself I'm going to play The Witcher 3, but then I like look at it and I'm like, I don't have
Although
All the
I
time.
keep telling myself that too.
speaking of the news and Witcher 3, this will be quick, I promise. AMD says that their new processors can run that natively. The Kaizen.
Oh, really? That like the Ryzen Gen 2?
The Ryzen Gen 2 can run it like with equivalent performance to a 1030.
That's awesome. That's really good. All right, cool. Jake,
That's my blur.
Like
take
on
it
low,
away.
like not on high.
Yeah, but that's still very impressive because it's integrated graphics. All right, Jake, hit us.
Alright, so CD Projekt Red, as we kind of said, was the developers of the Witcher series. Their new game that they are developing is Cyberpunk 2077. And I think it was last week they tweeted out Beep, literally BEEP. That was it. And people lost their minds. They were so pumped because, as we all know, there's a ton of hype behind CD Projekt Red and the games they do. The trailer for that game looks fantastic, even though it really doesn't tell us anything about the game. So that was really it. They tweeted out. People got super excited. I'm not sure if that is an unhealthy amount of obsession, especially since the recent burns that people have got for pre-orders, but it is what it is.
So the teaser came out in 2013, early 2013. So that's all people have ever really seen or heard of it since then.
Right. It's been 4 years
So it's
since they
been a while.
tweeted anything.
That's nuts. So it's based on something else. I want to say it's a book. I will look it up very quickly. But I don't know. Does anybody know anything about cyberpunk in general? Like not cyberpunk, but like what
the genre?
No, what it
Like
comes from.
Culture.
I don't
No,
know if
what it
anyone
comes from.
in general knows anything about this game.
No. About like what its source material comes from.
No idea.
Okay. I was just wondering if any of us had like read anything.
If it is a book, though, whoever wrote that book better sell it for a lot of money to the CD Projekt Red.
No,
Because
it does-
whoever sold
it-
The Witcher to them he is so pissed that he did not do that.
Yeah, no, it is based on. Yeah, it's based on Cyberpunk 2020, I believe. Yeah, it is, which was actually a game. It was a pen and paper RPG. So,
Interesting.
but it had a 250-page rule book and 30 supplements and 2 novels. So it does have a lot of source material.
So it is the Fallout to The Witcher's Skyrim.
Yeah, kind of. But also, The Witcher was like also based
Also
on a
based
book.
on a book.
Yeah, at least Skyrim was like original source, but
The interesting thing with The Witcher is that the gameplay has changed significantly. Like with Oblivion to Skyrim,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gameplay is very similar. They just kind of improved it. Whereas like I played The Witcher 2 and the combat kind of blows. I haven't played The Witcher 3, but the combat's supposed to be significantly improved, and the game is.
and
I mean, it's in
they
the
opened
top
it up.
seller list years after
Yeah.
release.
So
It
I
is
guess
on my list.
a lot of people consider The Witcher 3 to at least be one of the best games of the generation. So I think there's definitely cause to be excited, but I don't know. This maybe because I haven't played The Witcher, none of us have. It's hard for us to give a good opinion, but it seems like this is a bit much. This is like on scale of when Nintendo tweets something and everyone goes fucking nuts.
Right. I mean, it's a lot, but at the same time, Witcher was the number 3 top seller on Steam, and the game was originally released in 2015. So
Yeah, and I think they have the developers have a lot of like good grace in the community. They released a lot of free content.
Yeah.
Their DLCs are enormous, and they don't do any microtransactions stuff. People tend to really like CD Projekt Red as a whole.
Yeah. That's why I was gonna say you brought up earlier, Jake, like about recent burns over, pre-orders and stuff. And I think it's as far as things we might be disappointed by the game if any of us play it. I expect some of us will. But like as far like I don't expect it to be like super loot boxy or whatever. Like it'll probably continue their fairly good tradition. Or reputation, I suppose.
right.
Yeah, it seems weird So I guess they revealed it in January originally, but it seems weird if they are planning on showing us something. It seems very odd that they're doing this in like late January. This isn't really the time for that to be done. So I wonder if we're waiting till E3 or what. Because a lot of
any other big releases that come out this month.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the other big release, Jake. Don't you worry, it's coming. All right?
Is there a big one?
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, Jake. Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. Stay tuned.
Replace Joy-Con with a T and you got it. All right. So, graphics cards. I have one. We all have one. Brian has one. Jake,
I have one.
We all have these graphics cards. It looks like we're going back to this past summer 2017, where the prices are just skyrocketing. And it's because of crypto mining. Basically, this is a This is no. This is about the same. This is basically you can't build a PC right now, or you cannot build the graphics card. You can buy all the other components. Card prices are astronomical. I think we were just talking Jeremy's card. I think he got it for like $250. You could probably get it for. You could probably sell it for $700-800 now.
No, I'm looking. So I bought it for before shipping. It was $275-ish. By the time I got it, it was obviously closer to $300. It's selling for $608 is the current
608. Okay.
The current tracking price on Camel. I saw them for less on eBay, but that must be like the median price.
Well, yeah, if there were bids going, then. So yeah. Anyways, I got mine for $450. Granted, it was a good deal. Like it was basically Craigslist. So I didn't pay tax or anything, but it looks like mine I could easily get $1,000 for. Jake is sitting around $700 for like a $350 card. I think Brian's is getting closer. It's in the mid twos, and he paid like $125 for it.
$125, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. So actually, Jay's 2 Cents, which is a tech channel, just made a video about how cryptocurrency is ruining PC gaming. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, because you are invested in cryptocurrency.
Well, okay, I am.
It seems obvious, though.
Well, but the thing is, like a lot of the crypto mining, like especially with Bitcoin, if you're gonna mine Bitcoin, you have to have ASICs.
Yeah, you do have to have ASICs.
There's no way to do it profitably, and even with Litecoin and some of the other ones, it's starting to get to the point where not only are people getting to saying we need ASICs to do this, people are interested in making ASICs that'll actually work with that algorithm. So I think once it gets to that point, it pretty much diverts it away from people mining with graphics cards because it's just not worth it.
And I guess what I was saying, Jeremy, is like, this isn't okay. You don't need to buy I don't know. Like
you don't need a PC to PC game. Jesus.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I guess
get a PC case.
Like
fill it with potatoes.
Let's say I wear like women's secret deodorant, which I do buy sometimes because it's really good. Like I know, right?
There it is.
Like just because I'm outside the expected demographic in the expected use case doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that people should be mad that I buy it, I guess. Like it's more that you should be mad at not mad, but you should be expecting the manufacturers to bring the supply. Yeah, exactly.
It's not always A, they might be happy that they're getting their money. B, it seems like because the retail price is the same, the new price. The issue is that there's a dearth of supply. It might be that they can't mine all the materials they need. A lot of that shit comes from Africa. A lot of it is just limited. There might be production limitations. They might not want to oversupply and then have too much in the market.
Yeah, I mean, but that shouldn't. I don't know. I think it's silly to be upset at crypto miners personally.
I don't know if you.
No, I would agree.
Also, like it's just they're doing their thing, you're doing your thing. It's not like these cards are reserved for gamers.
I'm not upset. It just seems
for whoever has the money.
Yeah, it just seems objectively true. Like, be upset about it. Don't be upset about it. You can't build a PC and you haven't been able to for a year. And
well, no, there was like a 3-month chunk where prices were really down. Like
for the price that I paid for, or I could get for my graphics card now, I could have bought like a 1060. back in June when
Yeah.
I was shopping for graphics cards.
Yeah.
So it's gone up like a full level, essentially.
At least, yeah.
In 7 months.
Last winter prices were down. They started going back up in April.
Yeah, but they also they peaked in like July, August, and then they
That's
dropped a fair amount again.
But still not to market price.
Mostly.
They're still- mine again. It's kind of
Your card's unique.
Yeah, but
It's a special card.
Sure, but point is, it definitely is having an impact. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that's undeniable.
And I don't know. Maybe this is kind of my last point on it. I think this is, I don't know how to say this. I would argue that like from an actual like importance value, mining cryptocurrency is more important than playing video games. But that's just me.
I strongly disagree about that.
I mildly disagree with that, but
Like one
we,
yeah, we're not gonna
down the crypto
we're not going down that rabbit hole. We're not going down.
I'll just say that I think playing video games is actually pretty important for a lot of people. And I think if you're someone who doesn't necessarily make a lot of money, and playing video games was like a big part of, your kind of entertainment, and you haven't been able to afford to either make a PC or, if you needed a new graphics card, I think if you're frustrated, that people who have more money than you are buying up cards to do crypto mining, which was not, and it's preventing you from getting a card. I think it's understandable if you're frustrated.
All right.
But on the flip side of this, this is kind of a bubble thing, no? Right? Like
This
the
graphics
graphics card price
So
increase is
so
kind
this
of a
is
bubble thing.
this is unique because month to month the profitability changes wildly, and we just had a huge dip. So like the second biggest dip from a market standpoint ever.
Not crypto. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the graphics card
No, but
things. Because
y-
even if crypto keeps going up, the graphics, they're eventually gonna make ASICs that'll
Well,
be
no.
able to solve.
Well, a lot of the new tokens are ASIC resistant, but my point is like profitability varies month to month, and the fact that we just had the second biggest dip that we've ever seen from a market-wide perspective kind of points towards profitability going down, and maybe we'll see the prices drop. Like that's just.
Plus, it was just recently outlawed in China. That's a huge market.
Yeah. Well,
So-
China. Yeah.
They're not going to be
I mean,
buying
that
graphics cards as
Yeah,
much.
and
for mining anymore.
that affects the ASICs more than the ASIC prices are going to go down. But anyways, Jake, you've been very quiet. He's staying neutral.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, I drank some water and had to cough a little bit. The other thing, I don't know, it's just like, on the one hand, it's super frustrating if you're trying to build a PC and it's all your graphics cards are $100 to $200 more, but I don't know. It's hard to argue with, like, yeah, they're available. It's a free market. You buy it if you can afford it. You don't buy it if you can't. But I don't fault the people that are upset because I sympathize with that. I mean, when I bought my card, I think it was high 300s, low 400s when I bought it, which is a little over MSRP for 1070. So I kind of got hit by the ETH boom, the Ethereum boom that happened. So
Yeah.
Dude, that
All
was
right.
thoughtful.
thanks, man.
Very thoughtful. Jake's
Jake comes correct when Jake makes his statement. He's
Jake's-
gonna tear shit up.
He's here to make friends. He's here to make friends. I'm throwing controversial statements. All right. So the reason I am basically not going to be this is kind of related. I'm just throwing it out there because I mentioned it earlier. The reason Brian and I are going to do our little shill right now. The reason I am going to.
Wait. I'm not chilling.
No, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
chilling.
just-
I'm an honest and
All right.
unbiased
Yeah, we're
opinion.
going to give you our honest, unbiased opinions.
Well, your opinion is biased because you're a Nintendo fanboy.
No. No. So the reason
Can't
I'm
ruin the news.
Are we gonna have a debate?
No, hold on. The reason this is going in a different direction than you guys think. This is a different direction than you guys think. The reason that I'm taking a slight break from PC gaming, and I'm going to be mostly only using it for PUBG, is because Gallic Coin drops on Sunday.
Oh! I thought you were talking about a different news.
And
I
that's
thought you were about a different.
no,
news.
yeah, we're doing that next. But
Alright,
that
alright.
shit's going to the moon, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in school all day, so
Yeah, no,
I don't. My computer's not doing anything. Might as well put it to work.
I'm just gonna mine some Garlic Coin. That's all. Okay.
Dude, we're gonna mad garlic coin.
Chris, can I put your prediction on the record on the podcast?
No, that's privileged
private?
and confidential.
Yeah, dude, that's like borderline financial advice, dude.
Sure,
I wouldn't
what's
even
your
do that.
My, oh, I'm not. No, I did.
we're not doing
You're
this.
You're free to disclose if you want.
If you want.
It has no meaning without reference to Chris's prediction. It has no interest.
Okay,
Chris's-
I'll give the
Chris's
market cap.
prediction was
My market cap prediction is 1 billion in the first month.
Write it down in stone, boys.
Yep. We'll know a month from now, basically, if that
And
was
I
My
think
prediction.
1 billion?
yeah.
So
1
Jake,
billion.
you asked for my prediction.
Yes.
My prediction is less than 1 billion in the first.
So that's a pretty. All right, boys. We have two different predictions here on two
And I
different.
think I was what 300 mil.
You were 300 mil, yeah.
So that's the realistic and unbiased and honest market cap estimation.
All right. Moving on. So, we had that mini direct last week, yeah? And I think we agreed for a direct it was a little meh, but the fact that they put a mini in front of it made it like basically acceptable. That's it. Like, wasn't good. It was borderline bad. It was like, okay, you get it, like one little pass on this. You get a mini pass, if you will. So then a few days later, we were getting news from inside sources being like, yo, you guys, there's going to be another direct. And we were like, oh shit, that doesn't make any sense. But then people started doing the math and they're like, no, like we always get a direct 28 days after a mini direct. This is how it works. And everyone's like, okay, I guess we're getting a direct soon. And then the other day, Nintendo tweeted, new interactive experience for Nintendo Switch that's specifically crafted for kids and those who are kids at heart. And then on Thursday, we got the Nintendo Labo reveal. Brian, cue that Russian music. Cue that. Oh, jeez. Wow. All right, ready? The Nintendo Labo reveal. So basic.
You caught me off guard with
No,
that.
that's fine. That's
It was
fine.
A little bit.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Never mind.
All right. So I'll just do a quick summary of what it is, and then you guys can go nuts because I'm very bullish on this. I'm very optimistic. So basically, there's going to be two kits coming out. They're both coming out on 420, and the first one's $69.99. So whoever did that, they're just like, they know, dude. They're meme masters. They are meme.
69, then it would,
Dude.
it would be.
It might be. It's 69. It's probably 99, but there's a chance, dude. Anyways, they're meme lords. So the first one's $69.99.
No, they wouldn't be meme lords if it was $69.69.
Yeah.
Second one is $79.99. What they are these packages that come with a bunch of cardboard sheets and strings and other things, and you create these. You create different cardboard objects. You can create, for example, a piano. You can create a robot suit, a fishing rod, a camera, a gun, and a little RV car. And you use the Joy-Con, specifically the IR camera in the right Joy-Con, is what powers these things. So on the piano, if you hit the cardboard key, the IR camera senses which key was pressed, and it plays the note out of your Switch. That's basically what the concept is. All right, you guys can go nuts for a while.
I mean, I think it's cool. It really.
I
When
think
was
it's
looking
awesome.
at that video, it really reminded me of those those Lego Technic sets.
Yeah.
Where you could like build something, but it had like the features with it. Like they had like the truck with the winch, or they had like the crane with all the different shit that you could do with it. I think it's really cool. I have
my qualms about the durability of a piece of cardboard that's just held together with like tabs like that.
I can fix your qualms, but keep going.
You can fix them.
I can fix them.
For
I can
99.
attempt. No,
Yeah, exactly.
I can attempt to remedy them, but keep going.
But it's I think it's a really good idea. I think that kids like to actually do something. You know, like kids these days, you go in a store or something, you see people with their like 3-year-old kid, and the kid has their own iPhone or whatever. They, you know, you want to do something physical. It's something different, and this is it's not like the stuff that was out when we were kids, because that was like a big piece of plastic shit that you could only use for one thing. This is like a set that you get to put it together, you get to see all how it works, and it's not just a one feature thing. Like, at least you get a couple of them with it. So I really like it. I think it's a really cool idea.
So I'm going to ask you and then the other guys the same question, and then the other guys can kind of give their first impressions. Describe your feelings for LaBoi in one word.
One word.
Yeah.
I don't usually do things in one word phrases. I'm kind of a
Okay.
word phrase kind of guy, but I'll do one word for you. Innovative.
Nice. All right. You guys, do you guys have anything to say, Jake or Jeremy, or you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I have so first of all, I agree with everything that Brian said. I think it looks fun. It kind of reminds the obvious comparison I think is like Legos, and Legos are fun. Video games are fun, so there you go. My girlfriend is also skeptical about the cardboard. I'm not as concerned. I think kids can be pretty protective and careful with shit that they value. We'll see. Sometimes they cannot be. We'll fucking see. But I have, I think, 4 other kind of small pieces of skepticism that I don't hate it. I'm not saying anything like that. But just to me, like, I guess, you know, we'll see how it works out. And these are just things I'm interested to follow. The first is I think that, so Nintendo says it's oriented at kids. My gut feeling is that there aren't that many kids that own Switches. Like, if I had to guess the number one demo that owns Switches, I would say people our age. That, if we remember back, that was kind of their marketing scheme for this thing. So will a bunch of people our age buy this? Maybe. I'm also just skeptical about how well it will work. Like, it looks fun in the video, but when you actually put together your cardboard piano in real life, will the fucking IR or whatever sensor in the Joy-Con actually like correctly register it every time? Color me skeptical. It basically, to an extent, I think it's basically just the peripherals for the Wii, but made of cardboard, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but just an observation. I don't remember what the 4th thing was. It might have been priced. I think it's kind of expensive.
But how many Wii peripherals?
I did, yeah. It's $69.99, $79.99 respectively.
Yeah.
It's $70 for all the shit, and then for the awesome robot suit,
It's
which
$80.
we may or may not be able to confirm was used in the filming of Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah.
That was a little bit more expensive.
Back to the
You
rim.
heard it here first.
But like, still, you'd be paying, how much were the Wii peripherals? Like $50 a piece?
No,
40,
they
50
were
bucks?
pretty cheap. But
So
this
that's-
is
yeah, so
Still,
you
I mean,
definitely,
you're
that's
still
where
getting
the,
more bang for your buck with the
Yeah.
cardboard.
yeah, that's what I said. That I think the cardboard makes it a little bit more, you know, you get a set of maybe like 6 or 7 things instead of just one thing. Because there were other Wii peripherals that were like very comparable. Like, they had a fishing rod, they had a little gun. They didn't have a fucking piano. But
do you have a word to describe this? Your feelings on it?
Whimsy?
Okay, cool.
The last whimsy?
Is that your feelings on it, or is that the word that you would choose to describe?
I would describe it with the word whimsy or whimsical. My feelings are surprised, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. All right.
With the people.
From behind.
I would describe it with the word just Nintendo.
Yeah, that's a good word, dude.
This is the summary of Nintendo recently. It's like, why did you do this? And maybe it's gonna work. And I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you guys. When I first saw it, I was like, WTF, Nintendo? What is what is this? Are you selling us cardboard? And then on second thought, I was like, this is pretty cool. You kind of have your budget VR. I mean, we discussed the Vive Pro last week on the podcast, and that the current Vive sells for $700, and we're thinking that the Vive Pro may not drop the price. It may come in at a higher price than the current Vive. So this kind of opens up the VR to achieve, I mean, for $60-$80 you get VR. That's the cheapest you can get VR besides on mobile. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it is kind of following in the mobile tracks. Like, didn't Google have a cardboard
Google Cardboard
stereoscopic VR?
It did.
Yeah.
They still
that
do.
was different.
It
'cause
went very well.
It comes with software. Google's was just cardboard.
Yeah, it was
Google's,
just like a
well,
stereoscope.
beyond that, it was at the beginning just the blueprints to like go get a box and do it yourself.
Right. And it was free. And then you could
it's what, like
then you could
15
order
bucks?
it. Yeah, you could order the pre-cut cardboard or whatever. But yeah, so then I thought it was pretty cool, but at the same time I came back, I was like, oh, cardboard, really? Like, I don't know. So I'm still a little torn. I think like most of us are. I think it's a cool idea. I think the only thing I would have liked to see is it opened up to kind of like people to develop their own software for it, which is the opposite of what Nintendo would ever do. But I think that'd be cool if people could actually create their own stuff,
The dev
create
kit.
their own cardboard stuff. Like, yeah, like just open up for development. Because if you're trying to market this to being like creative, like kids, like maybe down the maker vein of stuff, like Nintendo's kind of the opposite of what I think of when I think of creative and maker vein, because they are extremely closed and keep their source code very tight to their,
That's a good point.
to
Well,
their
but-
company.
But they could market out some of the service without necessarily, like, because Lego has that.
They could
thing
do like
you
a
can
Marvel
go on-
brand,
Mario
yeah.
Maker.
Right.
Yeah, but or you could go on your Switch and use like a stylus or something and draw out something, and you send that file to Nintendo and they laser cut it or whatever for you, and then they send it to you in the mail. I mean, it'd be expensive, but it's an option for them, and it wouldn't be revealing any of their underlying code or anything of that.
Right, and if they were to go that route, I think that's probably the one they would take. But at the same time, it's like, why do you
Well, that
make this
door's
so
open.
difficult, Nintendo?
So,
I remember my last thing. Can I add my last thing?
yes.
The fourth thing was, will the games actually be fun? Will the mini games that come with the cardboard actually be fun, or will it be like, I made a piano and now I have a piano. I don't need a piano. But specifically, like the robot shit and all the other shit, will you actually want to play the games? Because I think to an extent, that's kind of what we saw with 1-2 Switch. Like 1-2 Switch, I don't know in specific if it sold well, not well. I would assume fairly well. 'Cause,
Sold 1.2 million in the first quarter.
yeah, it was like one of 6 games that came out with the Switch. So I'm assuming that it sold fine, but it didn't. To me, it doesn't seem like it's really like caught fire. Like everyone's not out here like, 1-2 Switch, man. So
Yeah, but I mean, 1-2 Switch was a new thing. Like this also opens up the possibility for stuff like the classic NES Zapper games. Like they could do a Duck
Sure.
Hunt. They could do a Duck Hunt port that uses this whatever that gun cardboard thing is,
yeah,
and that's it's not as limited as 1-2 Switch. I don't think. I think that.
well, it's the same soft. The only thing that's different is a piece of cardboard that you put your hand on.
Right, but that makes a lot of difference. The
Yeah, it
physical
can.
object makes a lot of difference.
Right.
But that's my question. Will the games be like enjoyable and something that we latch onto, or not so much? I assume they'll be like somewhat enjoyable, but just seeing what the games are. That was the last thing that I was curious about when I saw the announcement.
All right. I got a big one.
Yeah, do it, dude.
I got a big one. And I mean,
we
it's
go.
it's partially a big one because I'm going to try to address a lot of points. I think there's some good information that should hope, and some of it's confirmed, some of it's suggested by Nintendo. Anyways, I think this is goddamn brilliant. I think this is amazing. This is great. I think to really like get a sense of the appeal for it, you have to like put yourself in the body of a kid. This is not for us. You have to be 7 years old again, and you have to take a look at your so kind of to go to one of Jeremy's points real quick. Kimishima, he's the president of Nintendo, in an interview, he was saying that our first year, our kind of goal was to attract our core audience, and I think they did a great job on that. And he said, going forward this year, one of our big goals is going to be expanding our demographic. I don't think this is trying to sell units to people with Switches. I think this is trying to sell Switches. I think this is a system seller for kids in a way that I don't think we could even begin to imagine. I think this is going to take off. From a kid's perspective, this is so much cooler than touching buttons. You get to build something, you get to decorate it, you get to create something, and even if the games aren't fun, I'm going to go into just a few things. There was a guy from The Guardian who had Hands on Time, and he said the simplest thing that he made, he didn't make everything, the simplest thing that he made took him 15 minutes to make. The hardest thing, which was the piano, took him 2 hours to make. And I would imagine that robot suit could be 4 or 5 hours to make.
Yeah, it's a lot of parts.
That is a task. That's something that kids would like. Kids who like Legos and stuff. That is like a whole new level, because then you get to actually wear it and play with it and interact with it, and it just meshes so well. It's Nintendo's solution to VR, AR, mixed reality, and they just did it. They just did it in such a brilliant, like, Nintendo way. They're leveraging this. This is using the Switch in a way that nobody could have imagined, because there's so few devices where you have a dedicated screen with two separate things, both of which have enough fine-tuned motors to actually cause things like cardboard to move linearly or rotate around in circles based on their motors. Also, they have that IR camera, which allows for so much. This is really taking every unique facet of the Switch and just putting it full center. There's nothing on the market that can replicate this. To address a few more things, there's one other thing that's coming out on the 20th. It's a stencil set. It comes with like a bunch of ways to decorate it. Obviously, you could just use your own markers or whatever, but it has like stickers and stencils and whatever. That's going to be $10. The other thing is they are thinking, or they've suggested, so it looks like this is going to be definite, of just they're going to have the blueprints accessible for everybody, or you can just buy the software alone. So like if you don't want to buy the $70 set for those like 6 things that you can build, you can buy the software for a price that they haven't determined yet. But if it was like $20 to buy the software and all you want to do is do the piano, you can make the piano yourself with your own cardboard. You can do it your own, you know. And they did talk a little bit about replacements. They phrased it as not free, but they said it kind of weird, where it was either going to be stupid cheap or free for maybe a limited number of replacements, or maybe they'll give you a few extra parts. But they made it sound like replacements were going to be realistically doable.
That isn't quite what I had read, that they were going to sell. I had read that they were going to sell replacement parts.
Yeah, but there was some other, maybe it was a representative who misspoke. But in any event, you could make a lot of this yourself if you had the blueprints.
And a laser cutter. I mean, like, the tolerances on the stuff, like, the models that they're showing in the video, that stuff is put to get, like, it's...
Well, yeah, I think that's going to be...
I don't think you could do that with an example.
Yeah, but, you know...
I don't think a 7-year-old could do it.
But if you bust apart, you know, if you need a quick... If a tab tears or something, you can tape it back. Yeah, you can... I agree, durability is cause for concern, but I think as a whole, this is using a piece of hardware that is not replicable anywhere in the most unique way possible.
What I think would be what I think would be really interesting is if they actually did a collaboration with Lego, because I'm pretty sure that they're you know how they had that robotics thing, the Mindstorms?
Yeah, the Mindstorms.
I'm pretty sure that's either dead or nearly dead by this point. It's not?
Yeah, Jake
I
schools
actually
use that all the time.
Team,
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
very
really?
big in like the middle school scene. I mean, it's
But
not like I
outside
buy
of
it
that,
for
like a
fun,
consumer,
but it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's huge for education, not so much in the consumer realm.
I think this
Like-
has the potential to be huge for education.
Yeah, how much better
was
would that be
thinking
if
that
it had a GUI right on it with a touchscreen?
Uh,
And it's got the sensor it's got more sensors, the Switch, built into it than one of those little processors natively. And
Yeah.
you could come up with some sort of cable to let the Joy-Cons communicate with the motors and stuff or whatever.
I mean, the Joy-Cons are the motors.
No, but I'm saying if you wanted to
Oh,
integrate
yeah.
with Lego, I'm sure you could make something like the Joy-Cons have enough capability to transfer data.
They're pretty breakable. You can use Joy-Con on your PC. You can get them in
Yeah, so
working with
there's
stuff.
A lot of flexibility. I think that it's. I would like to see them do a collaboration with Lego. I think that would be fantastic for both companies. Because what do kids like? Like the two things kids like: fucking Nintendo and Legos.
It's not true. I don't expect that to happen.
No, but it would be not.
It would be semi-directly competing with Lego's own products.
I think we're also just
Semi-direct.
to a degree kind of overlooking like the creative aspect. Like we see these plain cardboard things right now, but I think from a kid's perspective, you can deck these out. You can put your
Stickers.
you could cover it with stickers, dude. You can put
Fucking
your
sticker that shit up.
I don't know. I think there's
That's
a
a-
difference between the kids that are interested in coloring cardboard and the kids that are interested in building.
Yeah.
things.
And that's why I agree with you, Chris. I don't think that they're exploiting the creativity aspect of it enough. Like if
yeah. So actually,
something like Legos, there's an infinite number of possibilities. Even if it has the same program, you can build the actual thing as many ways as you want to,
yeah.
And that I think ties into what Jake's talking about. It gets the kid that I built this, but I want to take it apart and make it better, or I want to make it do something else.
I mean, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but presumably you can't do that, right? Because
Well, not
it's
the
like
way it's-
very precisely fine-tuned.
Yeah, not the way it's
now
set
with
up right now, but the capability.
I
is
don't
there.
expect it's going to be set up differently in the future, based on everything we know about Nintendo.
Yeah,
Right, what does every kid love to do? They love to build a gun with Legos. I mean,
Yeah.
like, how much fun would it be to build your own gun with Legos and then do whatever shooting game?
There
with,
is a gun.
Yeah, but part of the appeal of Lego, there is a gun. Part of the appeal of Legos is like that if you're a kid, not like if you're old like me, I still buy Legos, but like I make a Lego set and then I look at it because I'm old and I'm not creative anymore. But like when kids do Legos, like you build it sometimes you don't even fucking build it. You just are like, oh, that looks cool, and then you open that shit up and you just start fucking going at it. And you can take it apart, put it back together a billion different ways. I don't really expect that.
So I think that's where the build I think is going to be like a one-time thing, but like the piano being 2 hours, it's going to be a decent time commitment that you're going to be proud of when you're. Well, no. So the piano comes with a set of like 5 or 6 things. So you say that's like 8 hours of build time. That's pretty good. And then I think the software is what's going to have to hold.
But the
through.
problem that I'm kind of seeing, and I think this ties into what Jeremy was saying earlier, is that the software for that kind of thing, like how many times can you play a fishing game? How many times can you play a game that's like effectively it's just a piano? You push a button and it makes a noise.
Yeah.
I mean,
How
you
often
put the
is it?
You put the thing together yourself, but I mean, there's a limited amount of like satisfaction
Yeah.
to get out of that.
How
And
often
make
is
it?
it? How often is a kid who doesn't know how to play piano going to try and play with a small cardboard piano that I'm skeptical that it will correctly register which key you're hitting? Because cardboard also like it's fucking it warps.
Yeah, it's not a perfect building material.
It fucking has like surface not tension but like it has friction with itself.
But
You know what I
see,
mean? They don't glide
Depends
easily.
on the type of cardboard, dude. You can mitigate that.
No,
this-
I'm sure
You
they
can
will,
mitigate
but
that.
but like yeah, as you said it much more gracefully. It's not a perfect building material.
But this is where we're not thinking like a kid. Like kids don't give a shit if like
If I was a
If their toy doesn't
I would
work?
want-
No, like-
if I was a kid, I would want to be able to take it apart and put it back together the way I wanted to. And
That's the
and
whole
play.
appeal of
Right.
Legos.
Right, and that's what I'm. But this has the potential. Even if Nintendo comes out with their own line of quote unquote Legos and call it Nintendo blocks or whatever the hell, that's what I think they should do with this. They should go towards something that allows the end user, without necessarily getting at their Nintendo's code and all that stuff, because I know they're very protective about that. But let's
the end user play around with the product more than just this is what we've decided it will be and this is what it will be forever.
And I think,
You know what I'm saying?
That would
yeah.
be cool, but I think based on what I see now, that's not where their head is at.
Well, probably
I think
not.
that's what
I
their
would agree with you
advertising
on that.
is, but I don't think that's what the product is.
I
If they
think-
do that in the future, I think that would be cool.
and
But they
I,
have the potential now, and they've shown that they have the potential.
yes, they do have the potential.
Maybe.
I think some of their software is a little more dynamic than we're giving credit for. Like the RC car comes with like obstacles and you make your own obstacle courses. The piano, to my knowledge, well, you could record stuff and play it back. And the guy in The Guardian said you can throw your finger across the keys and it registers them perfectly. But it has like tutorials for teaching you. I think some of it, like I agree, I can't really see how far the fishing game is going to go. But I think that there's, even if each of these gives you an hour of fun, plus another 2 to 2 hours of build time, I think that's all you need. And I think the robot game is going to be the one where that's like a more proper game.
Yeah, you get to put that on, you smash shit.
Yeah.
You can turn into a car, can't you? Like drive.
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
But like $70 is kind of a lot of money for 10 hours of fun. And you're thinking that people are going to buy Switches for this, so you think they're going to pay $300 for 10 hours of fun?
I don't think that people are gonna buy Switch. I disagree with Chris on that.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
no.
see
I
that.
think this is going to make kids want a Switch. I don't think, I think if you're a kid and you see this and you'd be like, I want this, then your parents are like, okay, you can get like one game with it. I think, yes, some kids will want Mario, but for those kids who maybe aren't huge video game players or just they have that creative mindset, I think they're going to go for this.
The other option is you want to pay $250 to play with a piece of cardboard. I can let you do that for free. So,
Which I think is what a lot of parents are going to say. They're going to be like, you've got to
that's
be
the problem.
fucking
That's-
kidding me.
That's the big problem. Is parents aren't gonna get it.
You want the cardboard game? Fuck you. Here's cardboard. I'll make piano
interesting.
noises.
It's interesting. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but
I've seen a lot more crap be peddled for a lot more money. Let me put it that way.
right.
But all right, any closing thoughts from what we've said?
I'm good.
All right,
I think we summed it up.
Brian, give us a wrap.
Hey, guys, I'll give you a wrap, and I'm gonna be real with you tonight. I know I try to be, I make an attempt to be humorous sometimes, but I'm gonna reel at you. We're doing this because like people like to listen to stuff about video games. So if you have something that you want us to talk about, if you have something that you like that we talked about, or something that you wish we wouldn't talk about anymore, let us know down in the comments. Because user input is always useful when you're trying to refine your product. And of course, as always, just go ahead and give that motherfucking like button a smash, and all that good stuff. So
All right, thank you, Brian, and yeah, definitely let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think of Nintendo Labo. Are you gonna pick one up? Are you a parent? Are you gonna pick one up for your kids? Let us know your thoughts. Have a good one. We'll see you guys next week.